Hello, Stampin' Buddies. What do you say we make a card with Lori's Little Bit of Crafting? So what we're going to do today is recreate a card that was done for our team meeting with my upline. And this is actually Vicky's card, I believe, and I really liked it. I had these materials. So we're going to make this one quick, and then we're going to make a couple of alternate ones, I think. So go to my website if you want to purchase any of the things that I work with tonight. I'm going to be working with some papers that are in the new mini catalog that's coming up for September to December, and some online exclusives. So first, this is the set, the Changing Leaves, but we're not actually going to stamp hardly anything except for the sentiment on here, a little note to brighten your day. There's some dies here, and this actually also has a hybrid embossing folder. Unfortunately, it's not available right now. It's apparently been very popular since it was released in the online exclusives, and it's temporarily out of stock. So be patient, they're going to be getting more. But it's an embossing folder that also has a die that goes in so you can emboss and cut at the same time. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So let's first start with one of these kits. I did this last week with my gals at Mount Pleasant Place, and it was pretty quick and easy. So I'm already missing a little piece here. We're going to go ahead and put this on. I've already run it through the embossing machine. I did not cut this with the die, so you can use the embossing folder just as a standalone as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card. And I'm only going to put my dimensionals on the outer corners, because if I put anything with dimensionals on the inner section of this, I want to make sure it's not going to be too thick to mail. So let's just take off all those release papers. We'll just do one thing at a time. And this doesn't really matter if it's right side up or upside down, because it's pretty random. I think we're actually going to do it this way. That looks pretty good. And then we are going to have a circle, and I am going to use, this is the new basic beige that was added to the color collection with this current catalog. And I am just going to do a little bit of blending brush with the basic beige to soften up that white just a little. Got a little dark there, so I think I'm just going to lighten it up around the edges, and we'll see what I want it to look like. All right. And we will take another piece. All my stuff is kind of falling around. I wasn't super organized today, unfortunately. And we're just going to put some of this basic beige in the middle here. And again, that's just to kind of soften up the white. I don't know if you can see that, but it is coming in on there. And we're actually going to use the Lost Lagoon instead of the Pretty in Pink. That's pretty good, I think. And we're going to take the sentiment piece. Just dump these all out of there. I had these ready. So if anybody wants kits of this card, let me know. I'll do 4 card kits plus shipping will be $20 if you're local and you want to pick it up for me, or if you want me to drop it off if I'm out and about. For the $20, I'll give you 5 cards instead of the 4. So let me know if you're interested in that. And then this piece, we're going to do a little bit here. You can see I'm actually off camera. I guess you can't really see it. But when I dab my blending brush in my ink, I'm just kind of brushing it off on my glass mat because I'm going to be able to wipe that up later. And I'm just going to soften the edges of my sentiment piece. Now this is a die from that hybrid folder, embossing folder set with the dies. Grab that again to show you. It's this one, and it's the Changing Leaves dies as an online exclusive. So you're only going to be able to get that through the online store. Okay, so softened that up a little bit. And there's my sentiment. So we're going to use some Lost Lagoon. This is a photopolymer stamp. So I'm going to get my piercing mat here so that I can hopefully get a good image. Hopefully I won't have a halo on here because it'll work. I pushed, I need this out. I pushed my rubber stamp or my silicone, my photopolymer stamp. Boy, I'm having a hard time tonight. I pushed it a little hard on my ink. So let's go ahead with this now, and we're going to add, oh, that's really dark. We'll put something over that, I think. I'm just going to get another one because I'm not going to like that. That is way darker than what I wanted it to be. So let's try this again. We'll take a little bit more ink off maybe. I just want it to be kind of subtle. That's better. Kind of heavy-handed I was initially. And I'm getting some ink on my fingernail. Paul put together a little wooden picnic table today for our grandkids, and I used the heat torch to burn into the wood to highlight the grain, and it looked really cool, and I think my hands are just tired from that actually. So here's some more of the beige. I'm just going to kind of do that in the middle to soften up that white. I'm just going to try to be careful here so I'm not pushing the leaves too much. I don't want them to rip off, of course. What do you think? Lost Lagoon or the pink? Pretty in pink. Looks kind of cool. But I like the Lost Lagoon too, so let's just see how this looks all together. Oh, and I need the Lost Lagoon a little bit more for these. I'll color those a little bit. Turn that over. And these are all from the same die set. So with this, we would take this, glue that on there, but put the circle on dimensionals, and then put our sprigs on here, along with the sentiment, and actually this little piece of ribbon, which is new also, basic beige ribbon. That will go under here somewhere. So there's that. I think I'm going to turn that a little bit so there's a little bit more beige under there. I don't know if you can see that very well. So that's how quick and easy that was to put together once everything's all cut out. And then just some of these pretty pearls. The iridescent pearls, basic jewels. Like I showed you in one of my other videos, I just do it. I open up the side so I can just slide the jewels in and out. That usually works really well with me. And then I use my Take Your Pick tool to just slide them off. I'm just going to put a couple of these on here so you can see. I use my Take Your Pick tool and I slide them off the backing and add them to my project. And just a little bit of putty that's on the tip is enough to just slide it off the acetate and then drop it onto my project. And when this really wears out, it should last you really quite a long time unless you're just popping it off all the time and breaking it. But all you have to do is kind of mold it back on there and it should last a long time. But you can twist this until some more of the putty's coming out. Once it starts coming out, then just release it and then mold that putty again so it's nice and soft for you to use. So there's those two cards. So I actually like them both. I don't know which one I like better. Probably the Pretty in Pink because I spent a little bit more time and made the color a little more subtle. I may end up doing another one just to make it look a little more how I want it to, but I think it'll be all right. So there's that. Quick and easy card. Very quick and easy. All right. So then I want to show you another take on these cards. I'm going to set these off to the side and I'm going to show you some new paper. Now, this is paper that's going to be coming out in the mini September to December catalog. It's the Season of Elegance. It's 12 by 12 paper. It's a specialty paper. And usually with the specialty paper, there's some kind of metallic in it or it's somehow blinged up, and this does not disappoint. So the colors in here are Basic Beige, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pretty Peacock, Real Red, and Gold. So here's what we have. Look at these papers. They are gorgeous, all right? And I even got a bonus because it was kind of crazy. I was getting all of my paper out so that I could have them, you know, every other one. So here's the front, and then here's the back. Front, it's gorgeous paper, and the back. And it comes with 12. This, I just have visions of an awesome Christmas card, so we'll see what I can come up with. And there's the back of that one. Front, it's different from this other green. This has, the first one I showed you has more areas that don't have the gold, and this one has more areas that do have the gold. And then the back is slightly different too. It's more like it's on a canvas, where this is like spackle painting. And then here's the Lost Lagoon, and obviously I've taken some out in the back side. And then another one with the Basic Beige and Gold. And then again where it looks like it's been painted onto canvas. So those are just gorgeous papers. Love them. So what I thought I would do is do my die cuts out of that paper. So here's in the Basic Beige with the gold, and I actually got an extra sheet. So instead of 12, my packet had 13 sheets in it. Bonus. It's only supposed to have 12, so there must have been, like when they were cutting everything, a bunch of us must have gotten a bonus. So anyway, here's that die cut, the main die cut that I did in the gold, but you might be able to see that I also used Peach Pie in here and some of the Basic Beige, and I brushed with that over the specialty paper, and then I took a Kleenex and I made sure that I wiped off where the metallic part was so that it's not going to rub off when somebody's touching it. All right. So I thought that was pretty gorgeous. And then for like the inside of my card, usually I put a design on there. So when this would go inside the card, I would first either put these in here, glue them in and trim them down, or I would use one of the images on a stamp and stamp it on the inside. All right, and then I can either put another sentiment inside or just leave it blank for whatever note I want to leave. All right, so there's that one. I also use some of the peach pie, and I use my blending brush to kind of go around the edge a little bit to soften that up. This will go on there. Then this. We'll put our ribbon on there. The sprigs. And the sentiment piece. Now with this, I did the peach pie and I did some of the basic beige around there. I don't know if you can see that very well. We'll go this way, I guess. But I used both colors just because I thought they coordinated well together. And then, of course, I would use the iridescent pearls again on there. So there's a different take there. And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to set that one aside. I'm going to show you the embossing folder with the die, all right? So I took a piece that's the gold and the Lost Lagoon. It's just, this paper, it's even better in person. So when you've got a hybrid embossing folder, if you open up the front where it's got the Stampin' Up logo on it, that's the side where your die is going to lie, all right? And it should snug right in there, all right? So it's made so that it's not gonna move, all right? So there's little channels for that. And then I'm gonna put the paper on because the die cut part is up right now. I'm going to, I guess I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna close it. Now I can see, oh, I think that'll be good. So I'll have a little bit of gold flecking on that Lost Lagoon paper. All right, so then I'm going to pull up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. A little dusty, I haven't used that one under there for a while. But I wanted to show you how this folder works. So when you have these embossing folders that are a little heavier, that have the dies so that they're the hybrids, you're going to put your sandwich in your machine on the base plate, and then you're going to put your plate number 4 on top of there. You're not going to have a shim. You're not going to have any other cutting plate because basically your embossing folder takes the place of your cutting plate. All right, so your embossing folder is going to take a little bit of a beating depending on how many times you make something with these dies. But that's to be expected, all right? I've had some hybrid embossing folders that I've used many, many, many times and they haven't worn out at all, all right? So we're just gonna run this through and you can see how smooth this machine is. It's awesome. All right, so we will slide this out of here and we'll get our machine out of here, out of the way. And it's so nice that this is just so compact. And that will fold up out of the way. And I can put that back. So now with this hybrid embossing folder, when we open it up, here are our pieces. And aren't those gorgeous with the Specialty Designer Series paper? Now this you can clearly make some other things. So, you know, if you wanted to cut it down or fussy cut some of these, there are still the embossing elements that go onto the paper. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. Even the backside where it's debossed is pretty slick. So we'll see what I come up with for that. All right. So that's how we use that. So then if we do another card here, I'll get the base. Burnish that. We'll put one of these on here. And I think, again, I want to go with, like I did with the peach colored one. I want to just put some color around here to kind of pull everything together. And that's one of the super things about the Stampin' Up! Stuff is the colors are all designed so they coordinate. So you can see that, you know, this paper with the Lost Lagoon, it's a gorgeous match, all right? So we're gonna put this here. Let's get some more dimensionals. And I can see that I'm almost out of this sheet. But don't ever throw away the edges because you can snip all those and you have all kinds more dimensionals that you can work with. So let's take these off. The release paper, if that's what you want to call it. Put this back on here. And take down some of the white on that circle. Sorry, this one's going a little bit longer because I'm showing off like 4 cards here. So that'll go there. And then, what did I do with the little baggie? Here we go. So we'll put a sentiment on there again. We're going to put the ribbon on there. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more ink. To add some color to my sprigs. So we can put one there. And my glass mat's going to wipe up really easy with the chamois that comes with it, except I don't have it wet, so I'll do that in a minute. So, and the nice thing about this ribbon is that it doesn't really matter what side you put up because either side looks really good. So we'll put those there. And then we would have another sentiment on here. I want this a little sideways though. It's not cooperating very well. And the sentiment would go here with whatever you wanted to say. All right, so pretty. And then of course, some of those pearls. This can go inside, or you know, you could even layer it in here and have some more foliage on there if you wanted to. I think it's a little much for me, but you know, it's your card. You know, if you wanted to make something like this, it's whatever you like. So here we go. We've got the Lost Lagoon. We've got the peach pie. Lay these out if it'll cooperate. Like I said, I think my hands are still tired from doing that torch, but that table looks really cool. All right, so there's that. And then my other two, whoops, are right here. Without the specialty paper. There's just something about that specialty paper that I think just really steps up the card. So there's that one, and here's the original one. So let me know what you think. Let's move these up a little bit so you can see them better. Let me know what you think. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which is your favorite? And if you decide to make one, or if you need these supplies, let me know. But if you make one, go ahead and post it as a comment. Add a picture in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're making. All right? So, happy stamping, everybody.